Okay.
So I want to say good morning to everybody that's mira, watched, watching Farmers Market Talks. Today we have Nettie. That's I had to ask you, Roy, how you pronounce her name. Uh, she's one of our vendors that's been with us for a while for Farmers Markets. Nettie, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Nettie Lucarini. No confusing. And I've been sewing for since I was 8, and I've had a really good experience. My parents are really great because my father was a tailor and my mother was a couture sewer. So in her heyday, she
Nice.
had the 6 month to a year waiting list to get a ball gown, wedding gown, that kind of stuff. So I learned sewing a lot by hand, which I will never do again.
Yeah, sewing by hand. Yeah, and I guess that's what makes sewing by hand so expensive, right? It's
Yes.
hard. It's hard to sew by hand.
Yeah.
So,
Well, when you have free child labor, it makes a big difference. But you know,
nobody's saying child labor. It's, girl, people are watching. So, just to let everybody know, we forgot to introduce. So, the name of your business is called So Great. Right?
yes.
Awesome, So Great. So, you've been with us for a while, right? At
Yeah.
least
I want to
what,
say it's about maybe going on 2 years.
2 years? Yeah, that's what I was going to say, about 2 years. And your stuff is awesome. Now, do you
Thank you.
sew everything?
I sew everything. I buy a lot of the textiles and the fabric by the bolt because
Yeah,
it's easier to do. And what I make, I usually make in very large volumes, and it's much easier to work that way. And I nothing goes to waste. Absolutely nothing. Even the scraps I will use to make quilts,
yeah,
placemats, pouches, which makes us a very eco-friendly company because one of
yeah,
the largest producers of waste in the world is the fashion industry, and we really try not to do that.
yeah. Roy, didn't you get something from her, like a apron or something like that? Your mic is
Volume.
off. Mic is off. You're like, damn it.
It's
Nope,
still off.
still off. It will say unmute. Yeah, if you click over your face,
How's
There it
that?
goes.
there we go.
Okay, there you go.
You're like, man.
So, yeah, I've gotten a lot of different things from you, and and my wife Christina's gotten great things.
She's a
She
very
bought
good
a beautiful
customer.
shawl. She bought a beautiful shawl that you made.
Yes.
Uh, and gave it to her sister as a gift. She was at that time her sister was working up in Portland, Oregon, and it was really cool up there. And she made great use of your shawl. Yeah, you have just beautiful things, and
Thank
the
you.
your story, is really interesting, with your family being in the tailoring business, for uh, many generations and that sort of thing. I mean, it's a very interesting
Thank
family
you.
story, and you represent it very well with all of your beautiful things.
Thank
So
you.
so Nettie,
It's fun.
Nettie, tell us, one of the questions that I always ask is how you
Mhm.
got started, right? Because as a business owner, it's hard to take that first leap, right? It's
Yes.
hard to make the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to make whatever. So tell us that process. Tell us how you went from whatever you're doing now to I'm going to start a business and I'm going to get up every weekend and go sell my products.
Okay. Well, it's actually a really interesting story because I always did the sewing as a hobby because, like I said, I learned it as a kid. And when I got married and my friends all started having babies, they always wanted like these baby quilts or these baby blankets. And one of the things my parents gave me as a wedding gift was a sewing machine. Of course, right? Because that's what they do. So
Right.
my mom's like, "Oh, I found this great sewing machine for $20 at the garage sale. It was new." I'm like, "Mom," because God knows they have enough sewing machines. So I got it. I started making baby blankets, and it sort of just kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
And after that, I dabbled in other things. I knew how to sew a lot of stuff thanks to my parents. One of the first things I learned was taking up pants from my dad because my dad was
Yeah.
a tailor. Now, my dad drafted all his own patterns, the same with my
Wow.
mom. So
Wow.
I learned pattern drafting really early on, and it was an interesting experience because not one size fits all. That's one size fits most. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I
Hand it
learned to
down.
take into consideration. Right. So afterwards, and then I had my son, and I was in youth ministry. I was working for the church for a long time, and I was still doing it. And I decided, I need something that's going to allow me to have more time to stay home. So little by little, I started building inventory. And my parents were like, just take the leap of faith and figure out what you want to do and what products you want to make. Because my parents had a very particular set of what they made and what
Really?
they didn't make. So that really helped me a whole lot, because I'm thinking I have to make everything, and I don't, obviously.
No.
And a lot of it is seasonal. So
No.
that really was the best piece of advice they could have given me. And after that, I just started to make a list of what I needed to do and looked into different venues and where was the easiest place to start. Because I didn't want brick and mortar, because
No.
my parents worked out of the house, and that everybody came to them. So
Mm-hmm.
there was never an issue. And my house is way too small. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want people coming over because my, kids and dogs and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So one of the things that somebody had mentioned to me was you should try a farmer's market or something to that extent.
Yeah.
And so I saw you guys. It's like, and you guys were so nice, because when I remember I talked to Roy, and he was like, "Oh, it's be great. Just send me your pictures. Everything looks good." And I was like, "Oh, they're so friendly," because not everybody's friendly.
Ooh,
You know,
no.
bang, bang, bang. Yeah, So
100%
that's
true.
eventually that's what kind of helped me do that. And the market was a great, and you guys have said it, it's a great place to test your stuff, to test what sells, what looks
Yeah.
good. And what's really nice about East End is everybody is so vocal about what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah. Oh, they'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't like this. You got something else?
And what's nice is that as you've seen, a lot of my fabrics are very cultural. So there's a lot, because we have a lot of Frida, we have Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
And I got such a good response from that, because that's a lot of what I grew up with. And it was fabulous that it met with such a wonderful response. And it just really encouraged me to keep going.
Yeah.
So that's eventually how we just kind of took off. And it just kind of blew up from there.
Yeah, and one of the things about your stuff is you're right. It's cultural. It's a lot of cultural stuff. So it gives you the opportunity to educate. A lot of people just think, oh, Frida, oh, this, and oh, this is Mexican, But when you actually, exactly. But when you actually tell them, the Mexican dresses and the stuff like that, it's not just decorations, this is what they have.
No.
So you can actually educate a lot of people on Hispanic culture and stuff like that. So I think that's really good about your stuff. And you're right, you're 100% right. It's seasonal, right? You don't have to make 100 things. You can make 5 really good things, and people will come, and then you change your stuff like that. So
right.
Do you do anything other with your sewing other than just like markets and things like that?
I do have an online presence. I have a website, and it's www.sewgreatbynettie.com, where I have a lot of my ponchos and my kimonos, and of course my aprons, because that's my top seller.
Yeah, the aprons are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And when everything shut down, I was wanting to, but it was very reluctant to do the masks, because everybody's like, "Oh, you got to do masks." I'm like, And so my husband's like, "Just do it, see what happens."
Yeah.
And oh my gosh.
Everybody wants a mask.
It was, I don't think I slept that first month, because I was waking up at 5 in the morning, and I was in the studio, and I was, and the kids weren't in school because everybody got sent home. So I was sewing nonstop. And it was a really big learning experience. I was making so many that I had to buy a fabric cutter, because the scissors just were dull.
Yeah. Yep.
I couldn't get anybody to sharpen scissors because nothing was open.
Nope.
So I had to buy a fabric cutter. So we put those on there as well. But we have an online presence, and then we also have Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook, and the handles on those are SewMe99, because So Great was taken, unfortunately.
That's all right. I think I see some East End Farmers Market masks in the future for me and Roy.
Yeah, okay, I can definitely hook y'all up. I mean, and I have the same prints that I do with the aprons, because like I said, nothing goes to waste. So I've got Frida, I've got Serapis. I mean,
nice.
and they're all
Oh, that's
cotton,
awesome.
they're comfortable. So people
Yeah.
have, I've gotten a lot of compliments. And when it started, I was getting orders as far as New York, California, Florida. And I was
Keep
like,
it
gosh,
up.
this is so cool.
Keep it
So,
up.
and it was great because I was actually starting a new Echo line for the markets that we were going to start in the spring.
Yeah.
And of course, when that didn't happen, I was using the little, I made reusable makeup pads. I started using those as free gifts, you know, just, all right, we'll stuff you with some free gifts. And because I couldn't launch it
Yeah.
yet, but it worked. It really did work.
Yeah, there's and Roy can attest to this. You know, it not only applies to food, but it applies to just business in general. You know, free samples and things like that, and just being able to have a variety of things that you can sell. Roy, what didn't some of the things that you used to tell me was, you know, you don't got to have you don't got to sell the kitchen, just sell the spoon.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you have to find, you know, those niches, you know, that work, you know, and as you were saying earlier, you know, the market provides a real platform for testing different products and different things, you know, and that gives you the opportunity to find those little niches of things. And sometimes you don't think it's going to work, and a lot of times some of the biggest things that you hit are things that on the onset you think, I don't know if it'll work, but no, I'm going to just try it, you know. And it sometimes will really surprise you, different things that really you know, kick, you know, and go well for you. The other thing is that, you know, one of the things that you mentioned early on, that, you know, when you contacted us, that we seem to be, you know, friendly and that sort of thing. And sometimes, excuse me, you don't get that at other markets. But I think two different things are in play there. I think number one, that both myself and Julian, you know, certainly have been entrepreneurs, you know, of some big, small, some large companies over the years in our life, and we have both vended for many years ourselves, food and other things, you know, baked goods and such at farmers markets for years before we ever came to the East End. And so we've been the vendor. You know, both of us, we've been the vendor. We've been to markets that you know, the management isn't so nice, and others that it's nicer, you know, and things like that. So, you know, we bring a lot of experience to the plate because of that. And our focus is to help small businesses like yourself, you know, to launch and to explore different products and things at our market, you know. So I like to say that we're probably one of the most vendor-friendly markets around.
You are.
and it's there's a reason for that, you know. It's because we have been vendors and we know what works and we know what doesn't work. And so our main mission is to support small business vendors at this market, and also to support the community, to provide great vendors like yourself to be at those markets, so our customers can experience, you know, some of the great products and things that are done by wonderful small businesses like yourself.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we Roy and myself come to realize, that vendors come and go, and especially at our market, they tend to go more than they come,
right?
Because they want to see what's out there, and which is natural. But one thing that is true with everything is that most of them always come back. Because they know that at our market, you can pretty much do what you can sell your business. You can conduct your business, and you won't have we don't get in the way. We don't interfere. No. You do your thing, and we'll be over here. From time to time, we come and we check on you, how you doing, and maybe we'll give you a couple of tips, like, hey, why don't you move this on this side and put this display here, you know, that way some people can see it better. But other than that, you know, I think the vendors appreciate the fact that we just let them do what, you know, vend, you know, sell, you know, go get out there and go do it. You know what I mean? And sometimes we might get in there and help. I know me and Roy, we've got in there, and we get a little push. We'll get in there. This is the last one. You better get it, girl. I'm gonna buy it. So, I think that's fun at the market, and we all grow as
Mhm.
the market and our vendors. We grow. It's almost like a family. We see you guys evolve. We've seen some vendors where they come in and they're starting off and they're real apprehensive. They don't want to talk to people, and we're like, look, man, you gotta talk. You gotta talk to sell your
Mhm.
stuff. And then we see them coming out of their shell and they're talking more and they're selling stuff. And the next thing you know, you're like, hey, I got a website, and man, I'm gonna start this other market. And that's one thing. We will never tell you no, like, oh, don't go to another market. No, no, no. You go. You get
Right.
as many markets you want. Just don't leave ours, please. But no, we encourage 100% to do your thing at the markets and stuff. So what's anything new, anything next for you in the sewing world?
Well, right now, I am currently working on my seasonal stuff. So I've got my Dia de los Muertos fabrics,
Yep.
which I love. They're my personal favorite. And so I'm working on obviously some aprons and pouches for those. I'm also going to start
Nice.
doing some more of my ponchos and the
Ooh,
sarapes.
nice.
And I'm going to start doing some quilts. Now I've got some really cool Frida quilts in the work, and those take the longest simply
Yeah.
because depending on size, and that's more work because it's strips that you got to sew together, and then you got to put the batting, and then you got to put the other stuff on it. And then, I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And I remember I did one early on, and it was a Frida one, and I just took a picture of it. It wasn't even finished, and I put it on Instagram. And I had a girl text me, say, girl, I want that. Do not sell it. This, I need this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. And what's hard is that when I take the pictures and I put them on, it's like I have to tell people this isn't done yet because somebody wants it. But
Yeah.
it's a great feeling to have. And one of the
It
cool
is.
things about doing the market stuff is like I put it on there and I go, if you want it, you can buy it and you can pick it up at the market. So if you want to do that way it makes things easier. It's a
There you
central
go.
location.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they get to see everything else there that's at the market because, we support each other. What I love about the East End market is that, again, when we go back to the cultural stuff, it's like everybody has their own unique spin on everything. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that I can go get my agua fresca,
Oh,
and I can go get me a breakfast taco, or I can get my croissant from Chef D. So
Yeah.
for me, that's the best. Is I get everything right there. My husband's like, "Do you want me to pack you a lunch?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Let me
No, we
go
got some stuff.
let me
Yeah.
go buy some stuff."
Yeah, I think Roy and myself we're gonna do more cooking when this whole COVID thing permits. We'll do a little bit more live
Right.
cooking and stuff like that. I know we were doing salads and stuff to help the farmers out,
Hmm.
and just things like that. But right now we just want to get people out just to say, hey, we're back. We'll see how this goes with this round. But like always, we try to be safe. We want everybody to be safe. Wear your masks, and
Hmm.
we got wash stations and things like that throughout the market so that people can wash their hands and stuff. So it's
Oh, okay.
just all about being safe.
Right.
Some people believe it, some people don't. So let's just
Yes.
let's just all be safe.
Right.
At the bottom of the line, at the end of the day, let's just all be safe.
Right.
Roy sent me a message that that he's down. He's
No,
not.
is that why he's
I
frozen?
was like, man, he's like really still. It's like
I know.
You
frozen.
still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, the screen froze, and I'm trying to get it back up. I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good look. Never mind. Just leave it like that.
There you go. That's kind of
It's like a news anchor,
Yeah.
when they're
yeah, exactly, yeah.
We'll call Roy's nickname will be Intensive Stare.
Intensive state. Damn, is he breathing?
I know, right? It's like, dude, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. I'll have a button and your hand will go like
They'll
this.
try to come up and stuff. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I lost camera. I don't know why. I'm trying to see what
Yeah,
the deal is.
it'll be all
But I
right.
can hear you.
This will be the
Still in there
the fun recording.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So, Nettie, do you have do you do? I mean, I'm pretty sure you do because you're a seamstress, right? Is that the right terminology to call you?
Well, I call myself a sewist because
A
I don't.
sewist.
I don't do alterations. Like people
Okay.
ask me at the markets all the time, oh, do you take up pants? No.
But you
No.
create things, right? You'll make a,
Create. Yes, I
okay.
do mostly creating. And a lot of my stuff is I do in small, medium, large, X large, 2X, because a lot of us are fluffy and, you know, there's more of us.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
But
Yeah,
but I
fluffy.
make all sizes, so I create more. And
So if somebody just brought you a pattern, like they went down to, you know, Soul World or whatever, and it brought you a
No.
pattern, you no, not like that?
no. See, and that's the difference. See, what
Oh,
I do
okay.
is a lot of the stuff that I have, it's already made because I'm going to
Okay.
be the one to make it. If there's a special request or a custom order,
Yeah.
usually it's for an apron or a cobbler apron. I
Mhm.
don't make gowns. I
Okay.
don't do any of that, simply because of the fact that I don't have that kind of time. And
Okay.
those take a lot of time, and it takes
Yeah.
a lot of individual attention. My mom could have spent anywhere from probably 3 weeks to a month on any particular type of gown, especially if it was really involved. And then
Yeah.
if there's like lace and sequins and stuff,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that just adds a whole nother level to it.
Yeah.
So I don't do that simply because I don't have not really the means, but I don't also have the space, because that
Yeah.
requires a lot of space.
Yeah.
And even though I do have a sewing studio, my mom had a separate room for cutting,
Mhm.
and then she had a room for sewing.
Oh, no,
you
I
know?
know. You know, my mom is you know, she calls herself a seamstress, but yeah, no, she makes wedding gowns, she makes quinceañera
Yeah.
dresses and all that stuff, and it's very labor intensive.
It's
So
very labor intensive. Yes.
that's what people, I think people really understand, you know, when you buy a dress and it's expensive, why is it's expensive? Because I mean, if it's
Right.
made like that, handmade, and yeah, there's been times when we were younger, and man, my mom would just, you know, day and night just working on and working
Mhm.
and working. So yeah, I can understand that. But
Yeah,
so
we were very
thing
fortunate.
your thing is mainly what's at your booth. That's what
Correct.
you do.
Now, I
Okay.
do, like I said, if I get a special request, like somebody wants me to embroider something, I can do that.
Okay.
Because I
You have an
do
embroidery
like
machine?
I do have an embroidery machine. It's really cool. Now, my mom doesn't call
Wait.
it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
there
like
you
it.
go. No, my mom says, "Oh, that's a cheater. That's not a real embroidery machine," because she did the freehand kind where you drew it and you did it in the hoop and you kind of moved the whole thing around. Mine is a programmable one, so I have like
Oh,
stuff I
nice.
can just set. So it
Yeah, so
makes
you
my life a lot easier. Yes,
add the
but
pattern and then let it go.
yeah, it's got the design, and all I have to do is either download it, pick the stitches. Now
Yeah.
it's still a little time consuming because, you know, some machines
Yeah.
are faster than others, but it's really a great outlet. And so if somebody wants something custom, usually it's like they want a name, or they want the name of their company on there.
Yeah.
They want like on some of my jackets and some of the aprons I have, you know, I'll put designs and specific trim on them. And that's usually with the embroidery machine.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I'll pass that along to our main office, because, you know, from time to time they order things with logos, with our logo, the logo in the middle. If you look
Right,
behind me,
right.
the one in the middle where it just says CSN with that little line.
Mm-hmm.
You from time to time they order things like that. So,
Okay.
but I know, you know what? Actually, man, I think me and Roy would just order one. Can it do the whole logo with the strawberries and with everything? Or is that
I'd
too
have
much?
to look at it. I have to see how much is involved, because I would have to digitize it and then put it in, and it may not.
Yeah, well,
But I can always let you know.
yeah, because we have you know, I got the picture of it.
Okay.
Whatever you call it, it's a vector photo of it. So, but anyway, so nothing new on the horizon. Any kind of new
Other
venture?
than- Okay, well, other than, you know, the sewing stuff, I got a new sewing machine because during this whole, you know, mask outbreak, oh, it was crazy. My machine just kind of died, and now
Yeah.
I've got 3 industrial sewing machines already.
Oh, nice.
And I have one that just does specific stitching and stuff. So I had actually replaced that one,
Yeah.
and I'm in love with it. So anytime, you know, I'm like, you know, guy with a new tool, you know, oh my God, my machine's so awesome.
Yeah.
So
Check it
I've been
out.
playing. I know. So I've been playing a lot with that one, and now I've got more of my kids' aprons coming out that I'm
Ooh,
going to
nice.
be doing. And then I've also got some more kids items that I'm going to be including in the markets, getting ready for
Okay.
the markets coming up. That was my little boy.
It was awesome.
Yeah, photo bomber. Yeah. But so I'm working on those, and then I'm also going to start working on some tote bags, more of the reusable shopping bags and stuff
Nice.
to more to put out more of our eco-friendly brands. So we also have unpaper towels that we're doing that are like the cloth ones, going back to the cloth stuff. And then we
Yep.
also have our reusable makeup pads,
Nice.
which
nice,
some people
nice.
actually bought for their kids that are going to college. Stop it. Some more kids are going to college. So it's been helpful. I mean, and like I said, nothing goes to waste. We use every single scrap up. And that has been a big selling point as well, because people, nobody likes waste. So
Yeah. So just to confirm, you do have masks?
yes, I have lots of masks.
Awesome.
Solid colors. We have tie-dye. I've got Dia de los Muertos. I got Frida. I have Marvel. That was a big one. I have Star Wars.
Right. Well,
So,
Nettie,
I mean-
I want to appreciate, tell you thank you for coming, and we appreciate. We're getting towards the end of the line of the
Sure.
of the meeting here, but we love your stuff, and we
you.
want to let everybody know we're talking with Nettie with So Great,
Mhm.
and we'll catch you next time, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye
All
now.
right. Thank you so much. Bye.